It's nearly that time of year again. Chilly evenings, packed pubs and big rugby debates.
Now, in a world of paywalls, which are so bloody frustrating, the amount of money you're spending on them, RTE and Virgin Media Television are bringing every Six Nations game free to air, and we are absolutely delighted to talk about it as well. We're joined now by broadcaster Joe Molloy, who's with us as well, head of the Virgin Media coverage. We're hoping to have Jacqui Hurley coming here, but I gather she's stuck on the M50
Joe
in
said
traffic.
no. He said absolutely no Jacqui Hurley in this studio. I will not speak to you. I'm a joking.
They might share...
I don't mind her being here, just no eye contact.
No eye contact.
And I won't talk to her. It's like she can sit here.
There'll be no shaking hands. No shaking hands.
The plastic COVID wall between the two of you again. Bring that back.
It is no fun getting in here this morning.
So. No, Jacqui is somewhere on the M50 and we're hoping she can pull in safely, go somewhere off the M50 and we might be able to get her on Zoom because everything is flooded essentially. You had an issue, didn't you?
Well, I think everyone's having issues, yeah. And there was a breakdown thrown in and anyone who's on the M50 with any regularity can tell you a breakdown is... Everyone just wait here.
Yeah,
we'll
don't do anything.
Or two, so...
Just to let you know, Cork is having a lovely... As we keep on getting messages in from people in Cork on, we're having a lovely day here, so there you go.
Listen, talk to us. Six Nations. Andy Farrell was over at the launch yesterday. It was up in Scotland. The trophy was in Scotland for the first time. Probably won't be going back.
Stop it, you're so
But Andy Farrell has talked about we are the hunters now, and rather than the hunted. What are you making of Ireland going into the Six Nations?
Yeah, it feels that way. Yeah. For the first time in a while, we're looking up at France certainly and probably England as well. So it was kind of that was a good way for him to position it almost. It takes a bit of pressure off. Because I remember in 2019 when they won the Grand Slam, Eddie Jones was very much Ireland, we're hunting Ireland now.
Yeah. So
maybe it suits us in some respect to take that little bit of pressure off. Now equally he's saying we want to win every game. So there's still the ambition to do well. Yeah, it's an interesting time for the team. We're either kind of having a post-World Cup stasis, a bit tired from the lines, regrouping, new tactics in the game, and they have credit in the bank about to hopefully take off again 18 months out from World Cup, or it could be something a little bit more prolonged.
Because Tommy made the point recently to Mary Lou MacDonald that the Irish rugby team is very much like...
Circles, this is just the company you keep.
This is the company you keep. That the Irish rugby team can be...
would say to Simon Harris
you're come up with something. Can be very like the Irish rugby team. Every 4 years, in the middle of that 4-year cycle, Ireland is on high as soon as it gets towards the World Cup. You know, we haven't gotten past that quarter-final.
Yeah.
Could this be a good thing that we're at this ebb at the minute?
I've seen the theory there that like we're peaking mid-cycle. The last two World Cups, we probably peaked mid-cycle. So maybe, I mean, that's been very optimistic, but we can cling to it. It's funny on that quarter-final thing. I appreciate, like, the big trend is quarter-final. The last one, it irritates me when they talk about, 2023 quarter-final. That was very different to me from all the rest. You know what I mean? They had such a crack at it.
Yeah.
They lose, like, inches are the difference. It wasn't like they turned up and just melted under the pressure, I don't think.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know what you're obviously the expert here of the three of us, but like that 23 team, like there's a fair chance that's the best Irish team we've ever seen. And to be lumped in with another quarter-final, that feels very harsh on them.
It frustrates the life out of me because I played the two quarterfinals where we didn't turn up, where that Irish team absolutely did. They beat South Africa, the eventual winners in the pool, and unbelievable. Really brought out the love for Irish rugby with supporters again. You think a zombie going around the stadium as well. And to lose to New Zealand, to be favourites ahead of New Zealand is something that's so amazing. But again, we're 2 years on from that. I don't think we're in this, particularly after that loss to South Africa. Again, the old mindset around the Irish team at the minute. But the beauty of the Six Nations is it's always so close. And that's why it being on free to air is so important as well. Jacqui Hurley is with us, I believe, on Zoom. She's in the car. Jacqui, the front of RTE's coverage coming. Looks like an RTE podcast, this does.
Oh, I tell you what, lads, you must be so used to speaking to people in their cars this morning. Oh, what a mare on the Irish roads. This country is not able to deal with the rain.
Which is not, look at her. Oh my God, I actually know that face of Jacqui Hurley, how frustrated she is. And I believe you had to download Zoom for us and everything. You've done loads for us this morning.
I did. I've done so much for you except turn up. I apologise. I am apologise. And I was looking forward to seeing Joe as well, the greatest coalition we've seen recently in free-to-air television. So I'm very sorry not to be with you. But look, this is the life that we are living at the moment. But I'm glad to be able to join you. If I knew I was going to be talking to you in my car, I would have cleaned it. So sorry about that, folks.
Well, you gave the back seat a good clean there, fair play. And the jacket looks great as well. Listen, Jacqui, I have to talk to you about RTE's coverage.
Yeah.
Of course, you're going to have the Ireland-England match, which is a huge one. Virgin Media are going to have... Oh, their Virgin Media back on again. Are going to have Ireland against France. Are you still there? Can we hear you? No. OK. Joe.
Guys, RTE are a shambles. Like, what's going on here?
Listen, you said it, not me, kind of. Talk to us, so Ireland-France.
Jackie's going to make you pay for that.
Yeah, we see, me and Jacqui catch up once a year. Always at like
the
a launch.
Yeah.
And so we were looking forward to catching up, but next year.
Okay,
she's there.
I believe she's back again. Jacqui, you've got Jamie Heaslip, you have Fiona Coughlin, you have Simon Zebo. You have a new face, though, in Jim Hamilton, the big Scottish second row joined the RTE coverage. He should be an interesting character.
Yeah, and I'm sure you've spent a bit of time with him socially, Tommy, as much as on the telly and on the job. But he is a brilliant fella. He really is. Great crack. A great mind of the game. And I love his podcast, I have to say. So plenty of characters. And look, the thing is, half of it is just trying to get the right characters in studio. I'm sure Joe feels the same with having Connor involved. You're just trying to integrate new voices, new faces all the time. And hopefully that we get the good games to get it. I know we're fighting over all the time who gets the better games. I think the Ireland-France game on the opening night is going to be an absolute cracker. But to me, the Ireland-England one is the one that has the intrigue. We're going to be in Twickenham for that one. And I'm looking forward to that because I just think England, to me, are the coming team. I think of all the teams that we should be nervous about, France are always the ones. But I think it's what's going on in England that should have Irish fans probably the most nervous. So maybe if you ask me if there's one that I'm looking forward to the most, it's probably that Ireland-England game in Twickenham because they're definitely the coming team. I don't know if you feel the same.
Yeah, sickening, isn't it?
Are you the same? Are you the same, Joe?
Yeah.
Is that it?
Well, they're just the direction the game is going, which is more kicking, more kind of confrontational, contest in the air. They've a relatively simple game plan, but they have big units carrying it out. So they're difficult and they're growing in confidence. Like France are just laden down with talent, but they've been... There's always kind of like a degree of unpredictability at times, a little less so in recent years, but I mean, they've left out three of their biggest stars for this squad for varying reasons. So we'll have to see how they pitch up in the Stade de France. But I think the Stade de France on Thursday, I don't think it's great for fans travelling, obviously, a Thursday night game, but there'll be a certain novelty to it. The atmosphere will be amazing. The Ireland-France games in recent years have been some of the best games we've ever seen in the Six Nations. And like, to Jackie's point, I think England are around 3, Jacqui. So say Ireland lose opening night in Paris, which is very conceivable. It's such a tough game. You get no credit for beating Italy round 2. Then you go to Twickenham round 3 and it's like, God, are we going to lose 2 out of our first 3 games? And then suddenly, there's all of that. Now you win in Paris and suddenly the world is full of possibilities. So you said momentum and it's always tight.
That's all about.
That opening night is going to kind of set the mood music for the whole thing. So like as ever, it's beautifully set up. It's such a great tournament every year, no matter what.
Having former players, we were talking about Jim Hamilton there, but bringing in the likes of Conor Murray into the panel, a guy who's been so close to so many of those players. As a former player, it's difficult to be critical because he's still so close to them. But at the same time, he'll be able to give an insight that most of the other guys wouldn't because he's been there for so long.
Yeah, and Jacqui said it, there is a balance. Like, say Ireland go badly against Paris, or in Paris against France, I'm not sure as a presenter it's fair to me to turn to Conor and say, God, your friends were terrible. Put the boot in. Yeah. But the way you can use Conor is, what that guy's like behind the scenes, personality-wise, and he can give us those kind of insights. Like I was chatting to him last week, and for instance, everyone is saying, why is Sam Prendergast, why does Andy Farrell love him so much? It's one of the big talking points. And Conor was able to say, unlike other pundits, well, I've been in the meeting rooms where they, at the start of the week, the 9s and 10s have the meetings. And Sam talks about the game like with such tactical acumen. And he thinks Andy really likes that and can see the intelligence, the rugby brain. Now, we don't know that. That's the first I'd heard of that.
Yeah.
And so I was thinking, okay, we can bring that to people on TV. Yeah. Then Conor has a great spot in the show.
Because I suppose the thing is, right, there are the real purists when it comes to rugby. And then, there's people like me who's looking for a bit of the crack as well. I enjoy it all. It's great. And honestly, Jacqui, some days I'm just like, does she have to tie Zeebs to a chair, Simon Zebo, just to get him to sit still and be like, Simon, that's not even a jumper. Where'd you get that? There is a bit of madness in that studio.
Yeah, but you have to let it flow too. You know, Joe is right. There is that element of you do need to kind of introduce the analysts into a place where they can be comfortable in talking about people who they used to play with. And I heard Brian O'Driscoll often saying, you know, sometimes you say, oh, that's uncharacteristic, which is basically a nice way of saying that was terrible and he's going to hate that. So you do allow them the space to do that. But then also you want them to have the crack. Like, it's supposed to be entertainment. I remember Bill O'Hurley saying to me ages ago, even before I got this gig, I remember he used to say, you have to enjoy it. You have to enjoy the moments, because if you're not having the crack and you're not, you know, seeing it for what it is, then what's the point? You know, like they used to call us the sort of the toy shop in work, because anytime the sports department would come around, they were generally laughing and messing. But it's a hobby, lads. You know, it's not life and death here. We're talking about something that is sport, something that 1 million people are going to sit down. That opening night when Joe is doing in Paris, there's going to be 1 million people plus sitting down to watch that. These are national moments, and the two of us are incredibly privileged to be able to be part of it. Tommy's obviously played in a completely different scenario, but I think you even know yourself, Mirren, from when you're involved in those big national moments, you have to enjoy it and you have to be able to smile and appreciate the occasion.
I know, under 15s mixed community games, it was a huge day for me. The relay guys. Jacqui, listen, thank you so much for battling as far as you could.
Well done.
Look at her, she wore Virgin Media red and everything. Like, come on.
I was trying.
Jacqui,
unbelievable.
First games on RT, what have you got?
Yeah, so we're up that first weekend. We will get to sit back and watch Ireland that first weekend because we're not on. So our first Ireland game will be Ireland-England in Twickenham in round 3, as Joe says. So we'll sit back for the opening 2 rounds, watch Ireland, and then by the time we get to it, hopefully Ireland have got something to shout about when they go to Twickenham for that game. We'll sit back for that. But loads more coming over the next few weeks. I cannot wait to get going. I'm sure, like Joe as well, a busy, frantically excited person doing all our study and our analysis before it starts, but I will be excited as anybody when it does get going next Thursday night.
And ready to broadcast from a car. Well done.
It's not quite life or death. You tell Andy Farrell that if they lose against France. Listen, Joe, first up, obviously because of the Winter Olympics, the matches on the Thursday night, it's going to be a great spectacle.
Amazing. And like this, like I always think the Six Nations is like this bridge from winter to springtime.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like, okay, we're going to get there. So yeah, I think Thursday night, the anticipation, the colour, like to your point,
be a cracker.
the anthems.
I love it all.
All of the pageantry.
I love it all.
It's the colour, so it's great.
And to be honest, keeping sport free to air is just really important so that everyone gets to enjoy it for what it is. Joe Molloy and also Jacqui Hurley, who'll be fronting RT's coverage. Joe fronting Virgin Media's coverage. Thank you both so much for being here. Best of luck on Thursday night.
Right, time for a short break. Back after this.